I'm Brian Ernest Regalado. I'm an architect by profession. I have close to 20 years of experience, and my involvement, my project I've been involved in projects with an aggregate value of 400 million US dollars. So that's a lot of projects over 20 years. Um, I I specialize in uh, 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 construction management, and within the spectrum of construction management services, I am even more focused on construction cost management. So that's basically my bread and butter for the past what for the past 12 years or so.
So this last year you have created an online school, which is called Build Quotient Training Institute. Why did you choose to become officially a trainer? And what kind of knowledge do you want to share?
Well, I've always wanted to teach. It's even amongst I mean, even in my office, all the staff that I've had, we would always have a day where we would all sit down, and I will provide them some pep talks. It's basically technical discussions about architecture, and so it has been my passion to teach, and especially among young architects or aspiring architects. There's a lot of, as you said, there's really a lot of things in the practice that they have to learn, and I think there's among those who have been practicing, only a few would really give their time and their expertise to reach out to the young. So I thought before of entering the university, but since I have not yet completed my master's degree, and the schools require that, so they would rather pick somebody who's not as experienced, but already has a master's degree. So, but since I cannot wait anymore, I cannot get into a school. I just established my own digital education company. So that's the story behind it.
So recently on Facebook, you gave 7 great advice to young architects to help them scale up their practice. So what I propose you is to share these 7 advice to this audience and then discuss about them. So the first advice you give was your professional practice is a business. For as long as you are accepting compensation or payments in exchange for a product or a service, then you are engaged in business. And indeed, I would say that in architecture, we are taught that architects are like artists. And so, in my experience, we don't use often the word business or money. Do you think we should change that?
Well, I think earlier on, even in school, they have to get rid of that false dichotomy. Made a strong impression that it's always a service, that it's always a professional service. So that you are always taking care of the interests of the client. Um, but I think stressing on this becomes unhealthy when you do not put it in the context of making your practice sustainable. So basically, uh, yeah. So the point of that first advice is don't don't undervalue your services. Don't feel ashamed that you have to charge for it, um, because it has inherent value in it.
Your advice number 2 is have a deep understanding of the concept of value. Center your practice on value. This is a really important advice, but this is sometimes hard for people to understand the difference between them and the other architects. What is my own value? And so, can you give us an example, like your example? What value do you bring through your online school?
We equip architects and engineers to, well, we provide courses that will help them develop skills and competencies uh, beyond design. So mostly in within the spectrum of construction management. So what is that value? I think I provided an equation that comes from, I think, the Value Engineering Society, an organization that is promoting value engineering. And in that equation, it says value equals function or purpose over price. Some would also use benefits over price. So, but the principle is the same. What we need to do is to always make sure that we offer 100% value. So that feature or purpose can be divided into four, what I would call four C's. First is character, competence, capacity, and credibility. So, so character, well, it's who we are. Behavioral competence, honesty, integrity, excellence, and all that. And then competence is our core skills. So what are we able to do? What can we deliver with our core skills? So are we skillful with design? Are we skillful with cost management? Are we skillful with construction? So that's competence. And then third is capacity. How much can we do? And then, of course, fourth is credibility. Um, Credibility is all about um, recognition for the first three. So, will people consider us? Will people be able to verify that we are people of professionals of good character? Uh, we are competent, and we have the capacity to handle projects. So another way of looking at credibility is getting is a certification, like or credentialing. So all those four is what you bring to the table, you bring to the projects, and that's what the that is the basis of your price.
So advice 3 is when planning to scale up, aim for revenue and not for the number of projects. And advice 4 is you should not aim for number of projects when trying to grow your practice. Don't even be tempted to measure your professional success to the number of projects you have. But as young architects, there is two problems what we have. We are ashamed for asking money. And also, we believe that if we make a lot of projects, we will get more experience. So what do you think about that?
I think the getting experience is you can look at it this way. If you want experience in construction, then construction is almost the same for every type of building, right? Every building will have substructure, shell, interiors, services, and equipment, furnishing, specialties, and all of that. So, for example, if you're getting into a house construction or residential construction, it's good that you do not only do the design part, but you actually try to get into the build part. Now I know that you might be not experienced in the build part, but this is where you can you can seek advice from mentors, right? Who will be willing to walk you through the entire process. So yeah, you can get the most out of every experience. But what most young people do, they do multiple designs, trying to have a broader set of building types in their portfolio, but they're not actually developing mastery for each, right? And so and since they have a lot of projects to take care of, most likely the quality of those projects will, the design quality of those projects will suffer in one way or another. And then since one would think that what I don't charge in one project, I will just get elsewhere. I think that affects the quality of your work.
So then you have advice number 5 and advice number 6, where you talk about marketing. So you need to market your business. Sales is the number game. If you don't keep on building leads, the time will come when you will run out of potential closings. And then advice 6, be purposeful when marketing. Focus on content. Write and create videos for your audience, not for algorithms. Do you think that architects should be more focused on marketing? Should be, whether they are building construction or they are trainers, they should create content for their clients?
Well, it's. I think that that advice is a response to the kinds of posts I see from young architects. It's almost repetitive everywhere. So what I'm saying is that you have to market. No? When I say you have to market, I do not mean to say also that you have to choose marketing over developing your value, developing your value. Um, as I said earlier, what will you market? What will you communicate to your potential clients? And that is value, the four C's. So the four C's have to be present before you even start marketing. So there's an order to it. Um, uh, don't just market and not have the qualities, the four C's that I spoke of. But uh, if you have the four C's already, you cannot just say that I have value and I will not market because and then expect your existing clients to talk about you and and refer you to other potential clients. While there that is good because normally those types of clients are easier to close, or they're easier to close, but you need to have a combination of new clients and old clients or referred clients, or aim for, let's say, um 60-40, let's say 40% repeat clients, and you want to still have 60 uh, new clients, right? And that 60 new clients, you cannot achieve that if you're not marketing. So if, let's say, if you want to earn $1 million for a year, and all you just have is the 40% repeat clients contributing 40% of your to your revenue, then you're probably losing 60% of your potential revenue. So what are you going to do about it? That's where marketing comes in. You have to be able to market to as many to as many people as possible within your target audience, or target or potential clients.
The final advice is be competent, develop your expertise and your character. Don't fall into the trap of faking it until you make it. And here I thought about it, and maybe I disagree because about the fake it until you make it. Because as a young architect, you cannot have a lot of experience, and sometimes to get opportunities, you have to fake it a little bit. You see, don't you think?
Well, I think there's a difference with faking it and aspiring for it. When I started out, my career, I I had a really strict boss who would always ask me can you do this? And I did not give him a no for an answer because I know he wouldn't accept it. So what I would do is tell him that I have taken it in school. I've done it once, but let me practice it. Let me practice it uh, over the next 3 days, and let me get back to you. I mean, of course, you don't have to tell your clients that, but if you've you've come across that the theoretical aspects of it, then most likely you have a basis already of of practicing it. So it's just a matter of uh, um, practicing the skills while you're not in front of your clients.
Mm.
So it's not faking it. You're not saying that because by faking something, you're what you're actually doing is committing to something that you know is never a possibility, or if something that you don't have a capacity to deliver. But 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 if you aspire for something and you know that you have probably not the exact same experience that the project requires, but you have experienced bits of it from different projects,
Mm.
then you can, aspire to deliver it and say, yes, I can do that.
Okay.
Because so it's really the attitude is really aspiring to do more each time, and actually on your downtime, I mean, read more about it, ask your mentors about it, right? If you can, if you have a mentor who can tell you exactly how it is done, then go ahead. um, Especially in this day and age where information is everywhere, um, and it's actually easier to reach people now because of technology. I
Mm.
think there's no reason for you to fake something, unless unless uh unless you really have not experienced anything of it, and you just want the money for that comes with that service, right?
Okay, so thank you, Brian. This interview is finished. We will share all the links concerning yourself and your company in the description of the video. So that's it, it's
Yeah.
finished.